Some other songs on the album you guys want your fans to pay special attention to?
Of course, our second single, Bugaboo, and Say My Name.
Rodney Jerkins did that track.
Confessing.
That's the first single, Say My Name, and Stay, that Daryl Simmons did.
And a lot of people are feeling so good. It's another song.
A lot of people can relate to So Good.
Yo, YouTube, what up, what up, what up? This Q, back with another video. And I'm gonna get straight into it. This video is, do you think Destiny's Child really survived after the lineup change? After the writings on the wall? You know, basically the split from the original foursome, which turned into a trio. My answer to that, and this is my opinion, this is my video, I'm just gonna give my opinion. Let's go back to the question. Did Destiny's Child really recover after the writings on the wall era, after the LaToya and Latavia leaving the group? My answer is no. And first, let's go back. The writings on the wall is Destiny's Child's second album. And we're talking about the Destiny's Child, which involved 4 members, which was Beyonce, Latavia, Kelly, and LaToya. And again, this was their second album, The Writings on the Wall. They had a first album, self-titled. It was okay. Me personally, it's not one of my favorite albums of theirs. But the Writings on the Wall album was the breakthrough album for the group. It debuted at number 6 on the Billboard charts, 200 charts. Producers, Missy Elliott, Rodney Jerkins, Shakespeare. They had Candy Burris writing on some tracks. And it was released in July of 1999. It had 4 singles and 2 #1 singles. Bills, 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 and Say My Name. This album was just the jam. It was hype. I remember back in the day, like maybe around 2000, I was around 13, 14 years old. And, you know, in high school, we had our portable CD players, all of that, and our little CD books. And everybody who was into R&B music had the Destiny's Child writing on the wall, the Writings on the Wall album. Like, the album was the jam. Like, I can just run down songs. Confession, like one of my, Hey Ladies, Say My Name, Bugaboo. Now That She's Gone. Like, the album was perfection. It was R&B gold. It was Beyonce's voice to me at its R&B prime. Like, you know, it was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? And they gained Grammys from that album. But therein lied an issue. Okay. As we could all see as fans, as people watching, you know, Beyonce was the lead singer. They didn't have to say Beyonce and Destiny's Child. We just knew she was the lead singer. She was up front. We heard more of her voice, and that's just what it was. You know, and around that time, we weren't aware that there were any problems in the group because, you know, it was just no talk of breaking up. You know, again, the album was going up the charts. They were doing great. So all of a sudden, towards the end of the Writings on the Wall era, the Say My Name video pops up, and there you see Beyonce, you see Kelly, but then there's all these different colors and people, and you're like, okay, where's Latavia, where's LaToya? And then you see these 2 figures, you know, singing, and the camera's like on them. So you're like, okay, jumping video comes, you actually see the 4 together. This is a new lineup. You know, you have 2 new girls in the group. So at that time, it really threw a lot of the fans off. They were like, what's going on? This is like weird, you know? And so, okay, the 2 new members, you have Michelle and you have Farrah. Farrah, she's for whatever reason not in the group anymore, so they become a trio. Okay, and around this time, when they became a trio, they were really just trying to put themselves out as Destiny's Child. This is the new Destiny's Child. This is the Destiny's Child, the trio, and the people were not having it. The public, the critics, they were not with it, and they were like slowly like, okay, yeah, this is Beyonce's fault. Like Beyonce, this is your fault. Like what's going on? Like in interviews, you would have Michelle on the red carpet with them, and they would be like, who are you, Latoya? Who are you? And they became like the budding joke of Hollywood or the music industry. And so herein lies the release of their third album, Survivor. Okay, I just want to say, in my opinion, I feel like that this album is trash. I feel like that they didn't really. It's not cohesive to me. It doesn't go together. It's just like a whole bunch of just songs, and it felt like a project that, in my opinion, that was rushed, and like a lot of songs that were written and put together that, you know, that was just put into the album, and like, here is Survivor, you know, because, and Survivor, I'm gonna say, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. It had 5 singles. But the only singles that really did well were, I think, were Survivor and Independent Woman. I like, let's see, Fancy and Independent Woman Part 2, I think, are the only 2 songs that I really like on that album. The other tunes are kind of catchy. They're okay. The melodies and harmonies are kind of cool. They're all right. But it wasn't the writings on the wall. Like, it was not just that R&B fire. Like, I don't know if they were just aiming to mainstream with this Survivor era and whatever, but to me, they didn't recover. The Survivor era for me was trash. Like, the looks were trash. When I look at the live performances, they weren't really put together to me that well. You know, Michelle was really just learning her place in the group, and it was kind of weird, us as the public watching, and it kind of like us as fans and the public, it was like a L that we just had to take, because it was like the original Destiny's Child is never coming back together. By this point, we knew that it was just over. You know what I'm saying? So we had to get used to this new trio: Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle, and so for me, they never recovered. You know, Michelle became the budding joke of the group. You know, she was falling on stage, and that, you know, people were saying she couldn't keep up as far as choreography. Her looks just weren't it, and, you know, she just really didn't fit in a lot, and this is just what people were saying. And then you have the Destiny Fulfilled album, which would end up being their last, to me, LP as far as new tracks, new material, world tour, era-wise. It was Destiny Fulfilled. And to me, it was better than Survivor, but it was still lackluster as far as the promotion behind it and what it could have potentially been. Because I feel like the Destiny Fulfilled and Loving It tour, I think that's the name of it, to me, it should have been like on a level of the Beyonce I Am Sasha Fierce tour, you know? But instead, it was very lackluster. It was very plain. The stage was plain. It really wasn't really that entertaining. The song choices weren't really, you know, it was really just not it, you know? And then, but if you want to go back, after Survivor, they all went off to do solo projects. And I think, you know, after the Survivor era, Beyonce was just like, you know, I can do it one more time, but that's it, because this is just not the direction that I want to continue in, and I want to be a solo artist. And, you know, that's just what it became. Beyonce became one of the biggest stars out today. So I really think that the group took an L, a very, very big L, even though it seemed and looked like they recovered so well and went on to be so successful and allegedly the biggest selling girl group of all time. For me, they did not recover. Like, the music didn't do what it did with Writings on the Wall. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce's solo presence, it kind of just took over, you know, after a while. And it was just like, you know, Destiny's Child is done. Writings on the Wall to this day has sold 20 plus million copies, allegedly. And Survivor has sold upwards of maybe 15 plus, 13 to 15 plus million copies. For me, you know, it was Writings on the Wall. I can listen to the entire album from beginning to end. And it's, for me, vocally, it was just amazing. The songs, you know, Missy Elliott coming in there and the writing with Candy Burris, and it was just R&B gold, like I said, you know. At the end of the day, I love Destiny's Child. They make great music. I love Beyonce. She makes great music. But they didn't recover, you know. They managed to keep it going, but I think that entire situation, it just hurt the brand for me, you know, because they could have been like the Spice Girls type of, you know, movement, you know, because for me, they were like, oh, this and Child are so big, but in reality, they're not. You know, 4 albums, 2 with the original lineup and 2 albums with Michelle. You know, they could have went on to do more projects and even like a Destiny's Child reunion world tour type of thing, and that still hasn't happened. I think that would have been amazing. But, you know, hey, thanks for watching this video. What do you guys think? Like, do you think they recovered? Do you think Survivor is better than Writings on the Wall? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video. Again, subscribe to my channel. This is your boy Q, and I'm out of here. Peace.